today is kind of the tech tool demo of Hylo focus. I think I'll kind of just get started. We're actually going to be doing a longer hour-long presentation tomorrow as well, which will go a lot deeper into kind of our whole arc of our story around sociocracy and our visions for how Hylo can support sociocracy. But today we're here to just, mainly demo the tool and kind of show off how it could be used for sociocratic organizations. Unfortunately, my co-presenter, Krisha, got really sick, and so it's just me here today. But yeah, feel free again to introduce yourself in the chat, share who you are, where you're coming from. I'm in unceded Chochenyo Ohlone territory in Oakland, California, and I'm the lead developer of Hylo and wear many hats because we're a small team. And excited to be here with you all, and excited to be exploring this space of new governance models and specifically sociocracy. So yeah, let me start with a brief few slides, kind of giving an overview of Hylo and what we're up to, and then I'll just dive straight into demo, and then we'll have 10 or 15 minutes for conversation and questions and all of that. So Hylo is a software platform that we call a pro-social coordination platform for a thriving planet. And the definition that we're using for pro-social is behavior that is beneficial to the whole or is cooperative. The reason that we're doing this and we're working on this platform is because there's so much going on in the planet. We are truly facing a polycrisis, a meta crisis, and we think that part of the way through, one of the pieces that we need is tools that are supporting the kind of coordination and connection and community building and regenerative action that can heal our communities and our planet. So Hylo is a nonprofit-ish. We're still kind of figuring out the legal structure. We actually have both a for-profit and a nonprofit structure for purpose-driven groups built to evolve what we call a culture of stewardship that enables this kind of distributed, emergent coordination needed to regenerate our planet. And so why technology? I mean, I think it's really clear to us that the technology we build and the culture that we have are co-evolutionary, and they really do impact each other a lot. And we've seen this for many thousands of years, from agricultural tools and how they've changed how civilization has developed, so on and so forth, up to the tech tools that we have now. And the tech platforms that we're using now are truly helping or sort of increasing the disintegration of our society and our planet and creating more polarization, more mental health issues, so on and so forth. I think many of you probably know this. Maybe you've seen the movie The Social Dilemma. And so we're working on tools that we see as both being influenced by and hopefully influencing a culture that is more trustful, more mutualistic, more pro-social, participatory, decentralized, all these things. I'm going to move quickly through some slides here and focus mainly on the demo of the platform, but we see trust and relationship building as kind of the core of that, the core of effective coordination. We'll go through some of the features. I did want to just get to this part where we, one of the ways that we frame the tool set that we're building is stewardship tools. That, I'll talk maybe a little bit more about that. It's like we see stewardship as encompassing a feeling of responsibility and care for each other, for the planet, for how we care for common resources. And that, from this basis of shared stewardship, trust, and relationship, we can actually collaborate well and create real world impact. And so some of the core pieces to that toolkit, pro-social tools, pro-social design, working closely with a group called Pro-Social on how do we design tools that help people become more cooperative over time, help groups become more cooperative. And then governance tools, and that's where the sociocracy piece comes in. And I'll just mention, well, I'll get into it in the platform, but Sociocracy is really the first governance kind of toolkit or stack that we're trying to build into Hylo. So let me just jump into the platform and show you where we're at today. So there's a lot of folks out there working on coordination tools, collaboration tools, community tools. I've worked with DAO Stack for a while in the Web3 space on kind of DAO tooling, but ended up deciding to work on Hylo for a number of reasons. Partly, it's a beautiful story where we had this, was originally a for-profit VC-backed startup, kind of ahead of the wave of community tools that ended up not quite launching or getting off the ground and selling to an organization called Holochain that ended up gifting it to my collective, the Terran Collective. And so we've liberated it and turned it into this kind of nonprofit tech commons is what we're really trying to create, or thinking of it as a public good. And we decided after working in the Web3 space that a lot of the tools there are just too complex for most people. They're not really ready for the mainstream. And so this is a traditional Web2 platform. The UI and UX is pretty standard and straightforward for if you're coming from a Facebook group. We really want it to be accessible and usable by a lot of people. And so we focused on kind of the foundational communication tools to start. And so this is a community that maybe some of you know, Zebras Unite, recently moved to Hylo and became one of our core partners. They're an awesome organization that uses sociocratic governance as well. But so we have posts with formatting, we have emoji reactions, we have threaded comments, you can tag people, you can add links and images and file attachments. And so, all the kind of basics, topics that you'll find in a Facebook group or a Mighty Networks or a lot of other communication and community tools out there. Where it immediately starts to get interesting is that we have different post types. So we have requests, offers, resources, projects, events, and you can post something to multiple groups at the same time. And so one of the things we're really passionate about in Hylo is bridging and creating collaboration and coordination across communities and helping create networks, coalitions, alliances, eventually bioregional coordination. We already have some bioregional groups using the platform. So posting this one thing to multiple groups creates this like shared node of conversation and connection. That is a core unique difference. I'll just quickly run through some of the other basic features. There's an explore page where you can see kind of an overview of recently active members and open requests and offers, upcoming events, projects. There's a lot more we want to do here, but basically there are another post type, but you can have members and a donation link and a project management link, upcoming events calendar. Here's a member directory, and you can see the groups that people are a part of and their skills and interests and their posts and content. And then the other place where it starts to get really interesting again is kind of this full nesting of groups. And so groups can have any number of parent groups and child groups. And again, we're kind of trying to activate this mycelial network of coordination and collaboration. And then the other somewhat unique aspect is the geographic layer and really wanting to connect people to place to help you find posts and people and groups, content around you and activate place-based communities. And you can change the map layers. We've added native territories as a first kind of map layer, and we want to add things like bioregions and climate zones and stuff like that. But let's talk a little bit more about how you could use Hylo now for a sociocratic group. And I'll jump into actually our Hylo general circle group. And so, we've really focused on the foundation of communication tools and to, get people off of the kind of extractive for-profit Facebooks, but even mighty networks and Discord and Slack that are, have a lot of features, but are really still stuck in the kind of growth, extractive, attention-sucking economy. And so we focus on those features a lot at first, but we really want to add in governance tools on top. And we already have the ability to do a lot with what we already have. So one thing you'll notice here is badges. And so you can see that I'm a facilitator of the Hylo General Circle. I'll also note over here, we have these custom links. This one links out to our meeting notes doc. This is a view where you can put posts with a certain topic backlog and start to collect the backlog for your next general circle meeting. You can also have a proposals section, and people can just use emojis to vote up and down on proposals. And so, we don't have really like complex governance tools in here yet, but that's that we're kind of building on what we have. But there's a lot that you can already do with the tools that are here. And then you can see that, within the kind of Hylo stewardship, we also have all these other circles. So the Hylo product and design circle, you can see over here, we've got our facilitator and our secretary and our coordinator, and our product circle notes. So yeah, this, we're really already starting to use this ourselves for our sociocratic governance. I also wanted to note that when I am looking at the kind of parent, in this case, we're considering the general circle like the parent circle, I will see content in here from child groups. So this is a post from a child group because I'm a member of that child group. And so it means that I can look at the content from the parent group and see kind of an overview of everything that's happening within all the child groups. And you can turn that feature on or off if you want to show child group posts or not. You can also search, but just to finish off the feature set, we have individual and group messaging. We have notifications. There's an iOS and Android app. And one actually kind of interesting thing is we've also recently added chat rooms. And so you have the like post style of communication, and here we go. But also for sort of quicker conversations, it's sometimes easier to just be kind of chatting back and forth instead of creating a whole post. So we also have, for the topics that you're subscribed to, this chat room style conversation. So I think that's mostly the overview I wanted to give. I mean, there's, well, a couple more things. I'll just to polish off the feature set. And we have this home section where you can see all the posts you've created and all the posts you've interacted with, that you've commented on or reacted to, or been mentioned in. And then we do have a public stream. We're not trying to recreate Twitter or Mastodon and create a public square, because there's a lot of issues that come with that related to moderation. But we're sort of exploring, and this is a way that you can connect with things that are happening across the platform. So there is a public stream, and also you can find groups here to get connected to on the platform and maybe even join them. One other interesting thing to mention is we've been working closely with a lot of farmers and regen ag folks, especially through a group called Open Team. And so we do have some kind of custom functionality for farms. We're starting to onboard various farm networks, and they can show what type of farm they are and what crops they grow, and people can get connected to farms near them. Farmers can connect with each other and kind of share best practices. So this is a kind of interesting area that we are exploring as well. And you could use the public map to also find things going on around you. The phase that Hylo is in is, we're still in a kind of early adopter, word of mouth, slowly growing. We're not in blasted out to the world, telling everyone to use it yet. But the platform is we're almost there. There's like a few pieces of polish and things we want to finish up before we'll be ready and excited to tell the whole world to use it. But there's plenty of awesome groups. As you can see, I'm a part of way too many. But it's it's exciting to see some really awesome organizations come onto the platform more and more and kind of partner with us to co-build it. We really work through this collaborative partnership model. And that's also a reason why we're excited about Sociocracy, is being able to, we want to like listen to all the stakeholders, and we think we can kind of grow through bringing in, different stakeholder circles over time to be giving input into the platform. And we already have this like growing kind of alliance of Hylo partners that are very involved in decision making around how we build the platform. Cool. I think I'll pause and open up the space and see if there are questions or comments or things you want me to dig more deeply into. Yeah, let's see. Stop sharing for a moment. See who we got here. See some claps. See what's going on in the chat. Yeah, the Mary the farmer stuff is really interesting and really cool. Sanket, it is currently English only, but we are in the final stages of testing our internationalization of the whole platform, and planning to roll out. The first translation is just Spanish as our like test, but once the first one's done, it'll be really easy, and it'll ask the community to help with translations into all kinds of other languages. And yeah, so that's coming in a matter of days, if not weeks, or weeks, if not days. Yeah, regenerative agriculture community. I mean, there's so much happening in that space already on the platform. Another piece to mention is that we already do have APIs, and so you can start to integrate Hylo with other tools in various ways. We have the ability to use Zapier, so you could have like someone fill out a survey and it creates a post in Hylo, or a Hylo post gets created and it creates a Google Calendar event. We don't yet have the ability to export immediately itself, but you can start to do that through our APIs. So in our partnership with OpenTeam, there's all these other tools for farmers, open source tools, that we are starting to integrate with. So Farm OS is like a field management tool, and Survey Stack is kind of like a survey tool that that's already integrated into Hylo to onboard farmers and support them in coming into the ecosystem and into the platform. So yes, we can definitely talk about all of that. Let's see, curious to see more of the specific ways to implement sociocratic decision making. Yeah, I mean, we honestly haven't been using it too much yet. We're just kind of starting to, and I was showing off how you could create a proposal, but this is like pretty new. We just started playing with this, and so there's not a lot of like real stuff I can show here. But it's very possible to have your proposals in here, and of course do your rounds in person and do integrative consent, and can just use the tool for logging people's opinions and votes and having conversations. Someone asked about the meeting notes. This is just a link to a Google Doc. We don't yet have collaborative editing in Hylo, and so you could certainly have your meeting notes in here and have like the secretary be putting them all in a post and then people commenting and adding things, but we're still using a Google Doc until we have collaborative editing within the platform. Yeah, I think that's I can show here. Can proposals be sent per group? Oh yeah, totally per group. So when you create a post, I like the idea of a proposal being a request because you want the community to respond to it. And then you could add a time frame to it as well and say this can go, for the next week. And then you can choose which groups you want to go to. So maybe this is actually a proposal for the dev circle, and or you could have it go across multiple circles, which is interesting. And then I, was marking our proposals as proposals so they appear in that custom view. And then you can put all the information you want here. So that's how I would do proposals in our current system until we develop a more specific proposal type, which is on our roadmap. Payment plans. So right now, Hylo is totally free to use. We are committed to the core platform always being free, and thinking about various business models. So, business models, we already have like a priority support model where some communities pay us per month for kind of committed technical support. Some even pay for like community management support and community stewardship support, as well as onboarding support. We certainly are thinking about certain premium features that we would charge for, maybe storage, because right now we're offering file storage for free, but we can only offer like small amounts, but like files and videos and things, as well as potentially premium features like white labeling your community more. There's more thought to be put into there, or maybe if your community gets to a certain size, we're still figuring that out. We also are planning to add the ability to have membership subscriptions on your community. So if you want to, if it's a course or a membership community where there's a fee to join, and also event ticketing, things like that, where there's transactions flowing across the platform, crowdfunding. These are all things that are on our roadmap that once they're there, we could charge a little transaction fee for things flowing across the platform. We also have an idea of, and we're already starting to activate this a little bit with some folks, kind of a network of community facilitators and mediators and things like that that can be offered through the platform. So if your community needs someone to support you in adopting Sociocracy or in mediating a conflict, we would have a trusted network of folks that we could refer through the platform. And that could be a business model for us as well through referral fees. That's something I'd love to explore with the kind of Sociocracy universe and community.